Godshots, Carol, and a trip to Wally World. Hey guys, my name is Michael the Aligned Creator, and here is another story of my journey full of synchronicities. I woke up that morning like any other and moved through my usual routine. At that point, I was still drinking coffee, probably more than I should have. I had recently started taking selenium, a supplement known for helping the body clear free radicals from pesticides used to grow the beans. What struck me later was where that association came from. I had first heard about selenium years earlier while watching Point Break, when the bank robbers left trace elements behind at the crime scene. I had not consciously connected the dots until after the fact. Even stranger, the day before I'd been at a workshop, thinking about that exact movie, and when I got home, Point Break was playing on the television, paused at that very scene right as I walked through the door. I noted it quietly and moved on. By then, I had learned not to question these things too much. The night before, I had placed a grocery order through the Walmart app, knowing it would be ready the following day. I told my mother that I had some time that day and wanted to spend it with her. She smiled and said, "No thanks." We both laughed. I headed down to Wawa for breakfast. I always order the same thing: turkey sausage, egg, and cheese topped with a hash brown. Cheap, easy, fast, and oddly enough, one of the hardest combinations to find anywhere else. Wawa has a monopoly on those sandwiches. As I stood there, the thought crossed my mind that I should just go to Walmart, Wally World as I like to call it, borrowing shamelessly from National Lampoon's Vacation. Movies have always been woven into how I process the world. When I walked up to the front of the store, my mother was suddenly there, approaching me head on. I burst out laughing. I told her I had some money for her, and together we wandered the aisles. We picked up a few things we needed right away and a few things we did not. Nothing unusual, except the feeling that something was gently arranging the timing. At the register, I handed her a little more cash and casually told the cashier it should be $47. She looked at the screen and said, "Yes, exactly 47. My mother and I looked at each other and laughed again. It was subtle, but unmistakable, the kind of moment you either notice or you do not. Shortly after, I walked over to the mobile pickup area and pressed the button to let the staff know I was parked. An associate's phone chimed immediately. I said, "That's me." They smiled and replied, "Yes, it is." Moments like this had begun happening more often than I could count. Not dramatic miracles, just quiet confirmations. Little nods from something greater, reminding me that I was aligned, paying attention, and finally receptive. It had not been easy getting through the chaos to reach this place, but standing there in that ordinary Walmart parking lot, I realized something had shifted. Life was not fighting me anymore. It felt as though it was meeting me exactly where I was. Looking back now, I recognize that day as a turning point in my recovery, the moment when things stopped unraveling and began, unmistakably, to come together. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more content. Here's another video for you to follow along with my journey.